I'm Andreas, a 26-year-old software developer, but I'm also 19-year-old Reinhard van Astrea, the sword saint of the kingdom. It sounds like a cliché. An IT guy who works in a basement and is sensitive to light. For me, it's actually true. It's not easy to find time for everything when you're working 40 hours a week, and some people work even more. I wear contact lenses to complete the look. It's not the end of the world if you don't wear them, but it looks cooler. I always think I look really weird because of how unnaturally pale my skin gets and the colors I use. But when I've got the wig on and the whole look is complete, all the elements come together and it works.
Dann sieht's wieder stimmig aus. Also, ja.
There you go. That's Reinhard van Astrea. He's a knight from a highly respected order. Basically, he fights on the side of good against evil. He's also got a really powerful sword. Walking around with a weapon makes you feel a bit stronger. It's a lot of fun. It's incredible how much you can transform yourself. You know what you look like when you see yourself every day. But then you can transform into a completely different person, so that your cell phone no longer recognizes you, and friends no longer recognize you. It's completely fascinating. It's a lot of fun to slip into a different role. You can try things you might not normally be able to do in everyday life, and all in a safe environment. That safe environment could be a convention or a photo shoot with friends. It's great. You can try new things without being afraid.
Ohne irgendwie groß, weiß ich nicht, Angst zu haben.
For me, working from home means a lot of sitting around on my own. I miss my colleagues, but it also allows me to get a bit more sleep. That's a benefit for a late riser like me. I also like to get sleep on my lunch break. It's pretty handy to be able to take a little nap without people judging you. After a power nap, I feel much more productive. Time for my lunch break. I've already figured out how much protein I need, so I make sure the weight is just right. I want about 120 grams. That's 126 grams. Perfect. I follow my nutritional plan closely. That's all I'm having for lunch. This is an anime series set in a dystopian future. It's kind of a cyberpunk world where everything is hopeless. People work 80 hours a week because of the implants inside them. Of course, there have to be heroes who make things better. Whether it's fighting against big corporations or helping people in society. You can't have a dystopia like that without a glimmer of hope. At first, I just wanted a flat stomach. Then I thought, okay, I'll try this low-carb diet, and I'll do these 2 weeks of intensive training to build the abdominal muscles. And I actually ended up with the beginnings of those muscles. I was quite proud because I'd never had them before. I wouldn't have thought it was possible. This is really good for washboard abs. It's really intense, and it gives your abdominal muscles a great workout. Sometimes it's sad and frustrating that I don't see them very often, because these days I live a long way away.
I
think I made this for Grandma Ellie. She wanted all the pictures, so I put them all together. That's Grandma and Grandpa's golden wedding anniversary. Mom's 40th birthday.
They're beautiful pictures. That carpet was our favorite photo spot.
Oh, yes.
Thank goodness that's gone. I was 14 when my mother died. It was a really emotional time, especially being a teenager and going through puberty. My mother had prepared me well, so I was able to get through it. I know I had a good relationship with my mother, and that the time we had together was beautiful. It was still extremely sad at the end, but it was easier to deal with emotionally.
At the time, Andreas was still our little boy. The others had left home already. She took special care of him. And yes, our interactions with one another were more intense around that time. But thankfully, there were no problems. We had no disagreements.
It also showed me that you just have to enjoy every moment you get in life. That was an important lesson. And that's how I go through life. It's about seizing opportunities and daring to step out of your comfort zone and try new things.
You'd need a diamond blade and moisture to cool it. It isn't really designed for that.
We make things together. Sometimes we talk and talk about the technical details of something, and neither of us understands the other. But we both mean the same thing. Even if he gets me to sketch it, he won't understand what I mean, and vice versa. But in the end, we're talking about the same thing. It's pretty funny. But we still help each other. And sometimes we do know what the other is talking about. And we understand each other. It's funny to realize that I've adopted more of his character traits than I thought. Of course, I don't only ask him about technical things. I also get life advice from him, like if I have important decisions or problems or anything like that. I know I can ask him.
fühle mich dann auch
I
als
do
Held,
feel like a hero.
kann mich dann natürlich
It can
super
make me
stark
feel
fühlen, wenn
really
ich
strong.
richtig in die Rolle reinversetzen
I mean,
will,
if
dann
you
muss man
really
sich
want
da
to
auch
embrace a
einfach so
role,
reindenken,
you just
ne?
have to
Das machen
think yourself
Schauspieler
into it.
genauso. Die denken sich rein in die Rolle, die schließen
That's
sich
what
ein
actors
in
do, when they lock themselves away and learn everything by heart until they can just be that person. I try to do that, and I do end up feeling like a hero, like Reinhard van Astrea. I think there's an overlap when it comes to trying to do good and trying to be humble.
Vielleicht den Versuch, bescheiden zu sein. Das sind so Merkmale,
Those are things that I at least try to achieve.
zu erreichen. Ich als
As Andreas in my normal everyday life, I would like to help people a lot more.
gerne viel mehr Leuten helfen. Was ich auch super
Another fascinating thing about cosplay is that gender roles are completely blurred. It's totally diverse when it comes to characters. Of course, there are male characters, female characters, and everything in between. And that's reflected in the cosplay world. It doesn't matter what gender you are, or what gender you cosplay as. Everyone's accepted, and everyone can take part, however they want.
Und jeder kann da machen, wie Lust hat. It'd be cool if we could all make the world a better place, each in their own way.